Hi there, welcome. Today we are tearing up magazines. Hi, my name is Dawn and today I am tearing up all my craft magazines. So recently I was lucky enough to go to a thrift store and stumble upon a stack of magazines. This is about half of them. And they were primitive quilts and projects and, where is it? Simply Vintage. And a Simply Vintage. I know that these are no longer in print, but I'm still going to tear them up. And here's my thinking. If I just leave these sitting on my shelves like this, along with all the other magazines that I have, Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, some other primitive quilts, and some cross-stitch magazines, I don't know what's in them. And I'll never end up stitching it because I just don't know what's in them. So when I get them, I sit down, with a cup of tea and I look through it and enjoy it page by page. But then I set it aside and it's in a pile by my chair for a long time. And then I finally get around to putting it away and then it's sitting on my desk. So anyways, I've decided what I'm going to do is tear out the patterns that I want to stitch at some point. And then I'm going to pass the magazines on to some friends. I have friends that quilt, I have friends that do punch needle, and I have friends that do cross stitching. So I'm going to take out the patterns and then pass it along. So here's a shelf in my craft room, and all of these tubs have wool in them for applique and rug hooking. But I have these two shelves right here, and I got some of just these binders. And I printed out a cover for them as well as matching spines so that everything matches and I know exactly what's in them. So as you can see, I separated out spring and summer and fall and winter cross stitch patterns. And then these are everyday patterns. And then over here in this one, I did craft patterns. And then this one is my scrapbook, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So let's go tear up some magazines and we'll get things sorted. Okay, so I purchased these plain binders here from Walmart, and I created these sheets that you just slip down into the front. Just print them out on your home printer and slip it down the front. And then a binder spine label. So I will have these, the spring and summer, fall and winter, and everyday attached down in the description below. And those are free for you to print out. So if you like this design and you want to do the binder system, go ahead and print out some cute covers for yourself. So like I said, those are free for you to print out and use. So let's do the spring and summer one. So in here I have patterns that I've purchased, and I put each one in a page protector. Now I do have some larger patterns here that they don't fit in the page protectors. So I have a standing shelf next to, so I do have a place to put these next to where I have my binders. So in the binders I store this is a free one, and so I will print them out and put them in the page protectors. And then here's some that I have been working on tearing out. This one is by Stitching with the Housewives. It was in Primitive Stitcher and Punch Needle magazine, so I went through and tore out everything that I liked out of that issue. And here's an example. I have my page protector, and then this was in the spring issue, and I loved this, and I know that I would like to stitch it. So I tore out the picture, the chart, and everything, and I'll just put that into my page protector and put that into my binder. So once I tear up my magazine, it goes right there. And then there's always patterns in a magazine or whatever that just aren't your style. So those you can pass on to a friend. So here's another one. This is Just Cross Stitch 2022. And there are so many cute ornaments in here. However, there are some that just aren't my style. So what I'm going to do is go through and I'm just going to tear out the pages that have the ones that I like and do just like I did here, put them in my page protectors and then file them away. This one will be in, of course, the fall and winter. I know that I'm going to see them in these binders because they are right there on my shelf. I know everything in here is either for spring or summer, and it's just so fun to take this off the shelf and look through beautiful pictures of things that I know I want to stitch, and I can just select my next pattern. So many cute things all in one place, all my style, all patterns that I know that I'm going to be stitching. Then I have craft patterns, and I will link this down below as well. So if you want to print this out for yourself to use in a binder, it's free for you to do so. So I have a book called Craft Patterns, and this is where I put all the patterns again that I purchased, that I download off of Etsy, that are free. These are two that I purchased from Cinnamon Creek Folk Art on Etsy, and they are sewing patterns. So they don't go in my cross stitch binder, but they will go into my craft binder. It looks like I'm probably going to have to go buy another one because this is full already. So they will go into my craft binder. That also brings me to the primitive quilts and projects. There's occasionally a cross stitch pattern in these magazines, so of course that one will get torn out and put into that one, but these are mostly quilting patterns. There's also a lot of wool applique patterns in here, so those I will do. So on any pattern that I happen to tear out of here, I'm going to be doing this one for sure. It's so adorable. It's the cover image. So when I tear this out of here, I'm going to put it into a page protector. And of course I will get all of the pages that pertain to this pattern, and I'll put them in a page protector. So when I tear that out of the magazine, of course, then it goes into my page protector. And then I have my inserts with the templates, and those will go into a page protector. And then I have a sheet of stickers here, and we'll write templates, winter 2021. And I will put that. And then all of the patterns that I tear out from that issue will go in front of the templates back in order. So that's how I'm going to handle the non-cross stitch patterns. And that brings us to the scrapbook. I have kept this scrapbook since 2000, so it's hard to believe it's already 24 years old. This is the front of a free little newspaper that was available at one of the craft stores 24 years ago. So in here, I have always cut pictures and tore pages out of magazines of things that I just found were beautiful. I liked it for inspiration, for things I wanted to make. So this is just my scrapbook. I also printed things out from the internet, and my daughters would get a hold of it when she was really little. They're now 33 and 26, but they would put things in there every once in a while, so that's cute to look back on. And also then I would cut things and glue them. My youngest was my gluer. I would cut them out of magazines, and she'd have a glue stick and glue them down. So anyways, this is my what I just call my scrapbook. And it was really interesting to me one time, my mom said, when I showed her this, she said that her mom, so my grandmother, used to cut things out and make a scrapbook. So I just thought that was really neat. Made me kind of feel connected to my grandma. So anyways, this comes into play with the Simply Vintage magazine. This magazine is, I would say, probably 95% quilting. Beginnings of these magazines are just loaded with gorgeous pictures. So in this instance, I'm going to tear all these pages out and I will slide them into page protectors and put them into my scrapbook. So I am taking beautiful pictures that bring me a lot of joy to look at out of this magazine that I would, you know, just never really look at again. It would just sit on my shelf, and put them into my scrapbook. And this book I do take quite often off my shelf, and I just sit and page through it and look at all of the beautiful things. And, you know, some things it's like, oh, I've made that, and you know, oh, that inspires me to do a display this fall, or whatever. I do take this off the shelf and look at it quite regularly because it is filled with everything that I love. So that is my plan for magazines that are not crafty or cross stitch. So I have found that by putting my purchase patterns along with patterns that I have ripped out of magazines into a binder, it makes the perfect storage solution for me. I know exactly where to look, and these are, you know, I know exactly where to look for a type of pattern that I'm looking for, and all my pretties are in one place, and I can sit down and thumb through them and enjoy them. So that's it. So I hope you have fun tearing up your magazines.